Hey guys, welcome to another episode of the Church Media Guys Show, where we learn how to use and leverage media and technology so that we can take the gospel to the world. Justin is with me today. This is somebody, I don't know if have y'all met Justin? He's my, where is he? He's over there. This is my partner Justin. Don't know if y'all ever met him or not.
What's up, guys? It's me, Justin, the infamous Justin, infamous to only a few people. It's like when you drive by a restaurant and it's like the world's best pancakes, and you're just like, why haven't I heard of them? Or most famous pancakes, and it's like, why haven't I heard of them? I don't know.
Yeah, they can't be that famous.
What's going on, guys? What a crazy month.
Yeah,
this has been.
Well, for you, dude, your February was crazy for you, and then March is crazy for the
February,
world.
We had so much sickness and repeat sickness. And
now, you guys didn't have the COVID going on at your house, did you?
No. We had something else that came before that. Now, I cannot say 100% it was not it, but it's pretty improbable that it was, just because it wasn't in Texas by then.
Right.
So, it probably wasn't that. There was another
and your wife's a healthcare professional, so we'd know.
Yeah. So it just went around everything, and everyone got sick, and then travels, and then I got my own stuff that I have to do with my agency, and it was just a crazy time. But what a crazier time we live in now. Dave, how are you holding up?
I'm good. I'm very, very busy, as you can imagine. Client stuff has been fantastic, and consistent, which is great. And then over the last 2 weeks, man, we've gone. People are asking questions left and right concerning live streaming and online church and all that sort of stuff. And man, I'm trying to crank out as much content. I've shot quite a few shows. I've got things that need to be finished and edited and published and all that sort of stuff. But I mean, I'm just right now. For the viewers, Justin and I both are focusing on trying to create as much useful stuff, tools, resources, and things like that for you guys. So be looking for all that. But we are heads down. We may be, sheltering in place, but there's no laying around watching Netflix over here.
Yeah, and if you have an issue that we're not putting out enough content, I want you to direct your hate mail to my daughter. As I have to homeschool her, and so there's not. If y'all could pray for God to add like an extra 4 hours to the day, magic, or maybe if He can just stop the sun again, that would be great. There's just so much to do: homeschooling, cleaning, entertaining when you got a kid at home. 100%. If you're at home with a kid, let us know. Because we want to pray for you too. It's a tough time right now to try to work from home while you also have a kid that A, needs to learn, B, needs to be refreshed, C, coming off of spring break and probably still has a messed up schedule. My daughter was staying up till 11 o'clock every night on spring break, and then now school's been canceled, and it's like, let her just keep staying up till 11 because then she can sleep till 9 and I might get some extra work done. What a crazy time. Kudos to all you parents that are working at home. Tommy had a question. Is Justin in Texas or Michigan? I am in Texas. If you follow me on Facebook told you I'm in Michigan because I just accepted and started a new position as the communications director for Crosswaves Church. So that's another thing that's been on my plate, but I'm thankful is on my plate. Crosswaves Church is a home network type church, a home group network type church led up by Tim Steele. We had Tim on the show if you want to go find it's using technology in church a little while ago. That's how we connected, and I've been working with him on and off for a while, and then he said, look, we want to bring you on staff and really take this thing off. And especially right now with the craziness that's happening, people are discovering that church, as far as gathering in a building one day a week, is not the only way to do church. And so a lot of eyes and hearts are being opened, and it's a great time to join that organization as their communications director and help them along there, oversee their social media and communications and marketing and stuff like that. So if anyone's confused, like, I heard Justin's in Michigan. No, that's where the church is based out of. The church is technically all over the world.
The church is at an IP address.
Yeah, I am working that way, and hopefully, God willing, starting a church group here in Houston. So that'll be exciting, something you can pray about. So yeah, crazy busy time. And then along with all this stuff, answering questions, trying to be in the Church Media Hacks group as much as possible. But enough about us. Let's talk about y'all. Question of the day, or you all, or you guys. Question of the day: how has the coronavirus pandemic panned out for your church? Are you doing online church? Are you doing church groups? Are you still having small groups like 5 or less people? Are you doing a drive-in church? Like I saw this morning, Brady Shear on Pro Church Tool highlighted the Grove Church, who's doing drive-in theater style type church. Really interesting stuff going on there. People are finding ways to keep the church community going. So question of the day, what is your church doing? And today, me and Dave, we just want to have, or excuse me, Dave and I, just want to have a conversation and talk about some of the things we're seeing, give some direction on how you can get started, because we don't, well, let me speak for myself, Dave. Please. You can agree or disagree. I don't think this is the time, or the correct answer is to, well, now we're just doing online church. This is it. We went from house churches to big churches, and now we're going into online churches. We're not talking about that, creating that kind of culture shift, but what I want to see is continuation of some of the things that we're doing now, such as alternative meeting styles, live streams, blogging. There's some really good stuff happening right now, and I want to make sure first and foremost that we go into this with the mindset of this is not a temporary thing to get us through a time. This can be the building of a culture that gets our message and the gospel out to more people more consistently. Mm-hmm. Does that make sense, Dave?
No, that makes complete sense. And that's the thing. A lot of we go through these cultural and technology shifts, in human history. But in the course of human history, we had the printing press. That changed. All of a sudden, you could have a Bible, and it didn't have to be handwritten by a scribe, but everybody could have a Bible, and then the Word of God spread even further than it had just by word of mouth. And we had the Industrial Revolution, where the people left the farms and started coming into towns and working in factories and all this kind of stuff. There's just been these shifts. One of the shifts that has been happening, it's been a relatively slow, quick shift, if that makes sense. Over the last 20 years or so has been the advent of podcasting, the advent of online streaming of audio, online video, and all that sort of stuff. And Justin and I have adopted these formats and these media types and all that early on, and started playing with things and learning how to do it. And marketing came online as opposed to just door hangers and direct mail pieces and stuff. And if you'll notice, if you use, Justin, if we use that as a almost as a guide, there is still a place in our society for direct mail. There is still a place for the door knocker, the sign that hangs on your door. There's still a place for all of that, because people still get mail, and they still have to go through their front doors. And so putting a lawn care service or, Bob's Pizza, thing, doing those kind of things still have the place. They're still effective. Got one hanging up in there with the, they dropped off menus from the Chinese place. That's all still there. This other stuff complements it, and in some cases is able to be more direct and more easily accessible than the other things. It doesn't necessarily replace everything. So please don't be thinking in terms of replacing. Now we're an online church and it's time to sell our building and all. That's just ridiculous. All of this, by the way, that's going on right now, the whole COVID-19 thing, the coronavirus, the shelter in place, all that sort of stuff, guys, this is temporary. Okay? This is temporary. If you're over 10 years old, you know about the swine flu. That happened in 2000. I had the swine flu. Look, I'm still here. Hi. Still here. But I had it. I was down for a week or whatever it was, and just fine. The country weathered that. We've weathered Ebola. We've weathered all these other types of things. We weathered freaking World War II. Okay? Literally. Very Chris Traeger of me. It was literally a bunch of people trying to eradicate another group of people. Not we want to overpower them and take over their country. We want them obliterated from the planet. And I still have lots of Jewish friends. So we can overcome all that. God's much bigger than any little thing that's going on. But it could be for a couple of months that we're having to do online church. So now's the time, if more than ever, that you need to jump into it. And I've been looking, Justin, on in the Hacks group. You and I have been in there talking with everybody we can over the last couple of weeks, especially answering questions, throwing out ideas, doing things like that. By the way, if you're not a member of the Church Media Hacks group, you need to go join. Go to churchmediahacks.com and we will get you approved. We had a couple of days, Justin, where there was over 100 people at a time coming into the group. So the group is growing.
100 people waiting right now,
and it's very active. So
yep.
you guys go join, and we'll get you approved. You need to be working in ministry somewhere. Let us know. But one of the things that people are doing is scrambling, trying to get things done, trying to get things figured out and all that. And we feel for you. We've been there the week before. For us, Justin, at our church, it was probably Thursday, and my pastor pinged me and said, and this was not last Thursday, but Thursday 2 weeks ago, had pinged me and said, hey, we're going to continue our spring break schedule, and we're going to only do Sunday morning, Sunday school and worship. So the evening activities and the Wednesday activities and stuff, and we were supposed to have this past Sunday we were supposed to have a family summit, and we had to cancel that or move that out somewhere in the summer. But stuff has been happening in some cases hour by hour, because by late that I had actually, he and I ran up to the church and we shot a video for our Facebook page, and we're going to put the video. I got it done, uploaded. It was in draft, and I said, hey, you can go turn that thing loose whenever you're ready. And he said, actually, go ahead and delete it because everything's changed and we're not going to be meeting on, and then the next thing you know, we're scrambling to put together a service that is online only and stuff. So it's been moving very fast. By the way, if you guys feel like you're behind, if you feel like you don't know what to do, if you feel like what's the point or anything like that, don't feel like that. I don't want you to feel like that. Right now, everybody is doing everything they can. Do what you can, but be diligently moving forward and ask Justin and I questions. That's what we're here for.
Yeah, 100%. A lot of churches are taking it week by week, and that's fine. You don't have to commit to, we're not meeting for 8 weeks.
Don't do that. Your church will die.
Yeah. Some of them, have been on lockdown before others. We just want to encourage you that it is possible, and we want to answer your questions. And every leadership is going to be different. We don't hear a lot of talk of denomination right now, and that's fine. Mm-hmm. Every denomination is going to handle things differently. There's no one right way to do it. And despite what you might hear from other people in our space, they say, oh, this works for this church. It might not work for your church, and you might be doing something that's great and it might really connect, and it's not going to work for another church. Everyone's going to be different, and that's kind of where me and Dave try to be there for you in the Hacks group, or if you join the CTA Insider program. We meet every other Thursday, twice a month on Thursday nights, where we can work with you through your unique obstacles. And we know that what works for some may not work for others. So if you ever hear anyone make just a blanket statement, take it with a grain of salt, because your church might be in a unique situation. That being said,
I've got some blanket statements.
That being said, there are some things that will apply to most churches.
Yes.
For example, you should not be meeting with more than 50, 100 people. Typical church service where everyone's sitting together. It's probably a bad idea right now.
Yeah.
And so, don't just say, oh, well, they said this and that doesn't have to apply to me. Let's go meet and have 100 people share a wine glass. Let's not do that. We have to do common sense stuff. But the stuff I'm talking about is, your church, your pastor should be going live every day from their home. That might not work for your church. That might not work for your pastor. That's
Right.
okay. You can figure it out. Maybe go live a couple times. Maybe do it. Maybe you do have to come to the church because the pastor's more comfortable on the pulpit. That's okay. Work with it, and take precautions as well. You're not bringing 50 people to the church, but if you need two, the pastor and your tech guy, then go for it. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, there's things that you have to work out, and you're gonna have to do some experimenting. But right now, and there's no wrong answers, right? You gotta try it, and maybe that becomes a less ideal thing for you. That's fine, but you need to keep it going. So let me share a couple things that I've seen that I am really enjoying,
Okay.
and that maybe you want to consider modeling or give you some ideas and run past your pastor. Number one, I've seen a couple of my pastor clients. They have recently taken up blogging. These are the guys that they don't feel comfortable in front of the camera. They like to do preaching to an audience, but they can write to an audience. So they're taking up blogging and they're putting out 2, 3, maybe just one blog a week where they address, okay, here's how we react or here's how we respond as Christians versus reacting. Here's where our hope is found. Here's what happens when, why it is a Christian duty to stay at home, to love our neighbor and protect them if we might be carriers of COVID-19 or coronavirus, excuse me. So, so that is something that works for them. Now, my issue to those pastors who are now blogging, who have put it off until now, and me and Dave are a huge fan of pastor blogs or church blogs where the pastor writes, so however you want to call it. We are a huge fan of that. This is not something that should be temporary. You should continue blogging past this. And when we start meeting once a week and small groups kick back up and pastors start shepherding again, doing visitations and all that, continue the blog, because there are some people, we know about the 3 different means of learning. We have oral learning, we have visual learning, we have tactile learning. Some people learn better by reading, some people learn better by listening. So having a blog where you can write and get the message out there that you're trying to convey through written form every week is going to be better for some people in your congregation and in your community. So if you start blogging right now, don't stop when this is all over. Keep it up. You may take it down from 2 to 3 down to 1. That's fine too. And so if you're doing lives, if your pastor's going live, the church that we've been attending in Houston, Spring Baptist Church, they kicked up their YouTube presence. Suddenly, it's not just their live stream on YouTube, but the pastor's making announcements on Wednesdays. The children's pastor's doing videos. There was a video on Thursday. Like, they're appearing in my YouTube subscription feed now, and they're short, quick videos with just updates or maybe a quick lesson. And, that's great. And that should not stop when we're done. There's no reason the children's pastor cannot do a 5-minute children's devotional with puppets even on YouTube every Thursday. Like, that's a great way to get to the kids that you have 500 kids on roll and only 200 are showing up. Those other 300 can absolutely still get the message through YouTube if you keep it going. If you're doing a special devotional or if you're if you're having your group leaders record, just a quick encouragement or maybe something they read because they can't meet with their small group, there's no reason that cannot continue. Other pastors are just realizing we've got the emails of everyone on roll, and I can't tell them announcements on Sunday, so I'm going to email them announcements on Tuesday. Why would you stop that just because you can now announce it on Sunday mornings? Keep that up. Do I have to clap it out for you? Keep it up.
Yeah, no, you're right.
This is not a temporary thing. The things that we're doing right now, going live, emailing more, blogging, even, gosh, dog, this is making me mad. Even some pastors are like, okay, I'm going to start calling my congregation. You should have been doing that in the first place. You don't have to commute for 30 minutes to meet with someone for 30 minutes and then commute 30 minutes back to the church. You spend an hour and a half. How many people can you call and encourage and shepherd just over the phone?
Exactly.
How many people are you doing it right now? You can nail 3 people with that. You can keep that up. It doesn't have to just be in person. Okay, Dave, it's your turn.
Okay. He's right. He's right. This is new stuff that you're going to be adding to your ministry. Right now, it's kind of the dominant stuff in your ministry. But from this point forward, you're a fool if you stop. I mean, you really are. Because right now you have the opportunity to not only feed an existing congregation who who needs to be engaged, who um, needs to still feel like they're a part of something. So it's incumbent on you to go that extra mile, to do that extra thing. At our church, Justin, we're doing we're finalizing the schedule, but we are purposing to be doing something live every day of the week, or with the exception of Saturday, but Sundays are our live stream of our worship service. Continuing on with the same series that we've been doing, which is funny because, and really fortuitous, because about 6 weeks ago we started a series on Acts, and we called it Church on Fire, and it's the birth of the church. And it's so funny because now we're in a situation where a lot of us are basically living like first century churches in a 21st century world. There's a lot of similarities between the two. So it's pretty cool that we're actually going through that. But we're doing that on Wednesday. And then on Monday, we'll have one thing. And we're jumping back and forth between certain things that are going to be on our public page, like our worship service. That's going to be on our public page. And in our private group. We have a group. And if you're not using Facebook groups, now's the time, by the way. Facebook groups are fantastic. We have a group for our church membership. That's where we talk about the funeral for Miss Ellie. Is going to be on Saturday. We don't put that on our Facebook page because, people who don't know her don't need to come there and go, oh, look, you can send flowers to this place. That's not important to them. Neither is the camp registration. Not important to them. So we have a members only. It's a private Facebook group. We approve our membership in there. And so we're doing certain things there as well, like some of our Bible studies. We have Bible studies, Justin, that we do like on Sunday night and Wednesday night that are available to anybody, but they're kind of targeted. Like we have one on Wednesday nights called Family Roundtable, and our family pastor is doing that, and it's talking about raising kids and raising a family and an intentional, God-centered, God-focused family on a mission kind of thing, right? So we have people in there that have families. We've got, new people with new babies to people like us to people that are helping to raise their grandkids. But however, empty nesters, that's really not, if they're not actively raising a family or something, that's really not targeted towards them, but they could always come in if they want to, right? So with something like that, what we're doing is for this, we'll still be doing I think we're going to be doing that one on Tuesday nights in our group, our private group. But what we're doing is we're doing a Zoom conference for the people who usually come, and then we're going to be live streaming it. By the way, I have a video on how to do that over on the YouTube channel. Just released it today about how to do Zoom and Facebook Live or YouTube Live from within Zoom. So what we're going to have is kind of a unique type of deal. We got the people who would normally be there, but we're making it available to people in the group that they could participate as well. Kind of stand at the door, come in and get a seat. But we understand that they're not necessarily the regular people who are going to be there, but it is still open to them. Does that make sense?
You're making too much sense, Dave.
Sorry.
Back it down a little bit.
Sorry.
Dial it back.
But then we're doing stuff like that with our youth as well, where our youth are engaged, and we've split them up into groups where we've got the older kids that are leading Bible studies with some of the younger ones. This is time to put some of these things in place, and it's starting to work, which is really neat. But it's very important. We take for granted the fact that we'll be up there for dinner on Wednesday night at 5. We take for granted that we're meeting for Bible study at evangelism training or whatever at 4 on Sunday afternoons, and then the kids are going to be doing Awanas, and then we're after that stuff is over with, about 6:30 or so, this little group of people are going to run over to Arby's, or whatever and have some dinner, go to Whataburger or something like that. We take for granted now that stuff has happened. Take a look at your bank accounts. Your bank accounts probably haven't been draining as fast as they do on a normal average week, because we're not doing those sort of things. So we need to supplement where we can online. And what we want is, what we don't want is for people to say, my church ignored me, during the great COVID scare of 2020. what we would much rather them say is, my church put out so much content, I got overwhelmed. I couldn't I couldn't do everything, but what I needed was there.
Yes. So let's get into a couple things. So number one, probably the biggest things that me and Dave have been approached on is live streaming.
Yes.
Pastors initially, said, well, we can't meet on Sunday, so we're going to have to live stream our service. How do we live stream? That's calmed down a little bit because other people have realized, well, do we have to live stream? We can just do a pre-recording and then post it up. That's going to be up to you and your leadership what you want to do. Facebook and YouTube have made it incredibly easy now, especially Facebook. You can do what's called a premiere, where you do a pre-recorded video, you post it on Facebook, and it premieres it as if it was a live stream. People can join the comments, and you can react and interact with people. That's fine. So you don't have to invest a lot of money in live streaming. In fact, I had a client call me over spring break and was like, hey, we're getting ready for this. We just ordered $6,000 worth of equipment. And I was like, how did you even spend that much money on equipment? So
I can spend that on streaming equipment easy.
Yeah, you can. I can't. I'm just like, I know so little. It's like some people are like, what's a nice meal out? I'm like, oh yeah, I would love to go to Red Lobster or Olive Garden, go for a nice date. They haven't been to places like Ruth Chris or other places where they realize there's even more out there. I'm the guy that's like, I just want to have a nice meal out at Olive Garden or Red Lobster because I just don't know what's all out there. I've never used a TriCaster. I've never used anything more than a Canon X series camera on the middle end. So I just don't know what all's out there. This is the nicest mic I've ever live streamed with, but that's me. Dave could easily spend it on that. Somehow, my client was like, he found like this kit or something like that and just ordered it for $6,000. And I was like, wow, good on you. He's at a church where he can do that. Other churches, it's harder. The finance committee has to come. They have to approve it. Someone has to sign a check because they don't have credit cards. There's an issue there. So again, we have to stress the best camera you have is the best camera you can get is the one you already have. Okay. If you, as a pastor, all you have is your phone, and if it's an iPhone 6, go ahead and go live, because doing something is better than waiting for the perfect thing and doing nothing. So if you want to get a camera, we have some stuff. We've been making recommendations all day in the Church Media Hacks group. If you have a budget, you can put it there. We'll try to get back with you. If not, one of our other members in the Media Hacks group can get back with you and share what they've used. And so you don't have to worry about getting the perfect setup. You can go live with what you have. Get in front of the window. We're a big fan of using the window, and get your phone and start recording. You can order hopefully you can order a $60 lapel mic from Amazon and have really good audio that plugs right into your phone. You could order a set like this. My setup is about $250 with the webcam, the mic, the mixer, and the lights, maybe $300. You can do that. The issue you're going to face primarily is you can't go out and buy it, and Amazon's delayed. And I think I even read something that Amazon is halting non-essential items. So you might have some issues getting that equipment. But you got a phone, you got internet, you got an account. Just go live from there. How many times have you been scrolling and you see a video of someone talking with their kids? They're live. The lighting is not great. The audio is okay, but you can see, you can hear, you can understand, and you watch that video. So pastors, you can absolutely go live from just your phone. You don't have to freak out. Also,
got a video on that. I'm going to put the link in.
Yes, awesome. Also, you don't have to go live. If you want, you can record. If you want, you can edit it, and then you can post it. Okay. If you want to, I've got some clients that are recording videos. They're uploading them to Dropbox. They send it to their media volunteer. He edits it, or she edits it, and then posts it on the account, and people can watch it, or they premiere it. That's an option too. So if you're not comfortable going live, if you just think it just looks terrible and you can't get past that, then you can absolutely do a recorded video and premiere it. And as long as you're there live while it's premiering and engaging with the people, that's great. Let me take this one opportunity, because we have, I don't know if this is going to keep being an issue or keep being an option. as shelter in place becomes more of a thing. Houston is going shelter in place tonight at midnight. So this would not be possible, or you shouldn't do this. But some pastors are still going to the church. There's 1 or 2 or 3 people there, and they're setting up the tripod in front of the pulpit, and they're going live, and they're preaching a sermon from the church. Other people in our space are saying, don't do that. You don't have to do that. Why are you doing that? Just do a pre-recorded video. Go live from your home. Don't go to church. Here's the issue with that. And I've had pastors that I've served under that have this issue. They've been preaching for so long from the pulpit that they are uncomfortable preaching from anywhere else.
Right.
And for them, it's an all or nothing deal. I don't like that, but I understand where they're coming from. They cannot sit in front of a camera. On Reddit, someone shared that their professor did an online class, but he is so uncomfortable. He still did his online class from the classroom. Yep. And he had a little Pinocchio doll sitting because he doesn't want to teach to an empty classroom. So he was teaching to the doll. Right. And that's how he teaches. If he did not have that, you are not getting a great lesson. Right. And for some pastors, they can teach in a small group, they can teach to a congregation, but they cannot teach to a camera. We can work with you on that and teach you. I've taken pastors and said, okay, well, let's just, I'm going to sit behind the camera. Don't talk to the camera. Talk to me. Teach like you're teaching to me. And we eventually get to that point where they can teach to the camera and they can read the comments. Some pastors just aren't there yet. And unfortunately, they just got smacked with a beanbag that says, hey, you got to teach without people in the room. And the best way they know how to do that is to go to the pulpit and at least, they still see that. Right. Yes, we want people looking. Yes, we want you to look in the camera. Yes, we want you to do it in your home. Yes, we want you to, stand by a window and give a 5-minute lesson. For some people right now, right off the bat, that's not possible. They're going to freeze. They're going to freak out. They're going to panic. They're going to sweat. They're going to stutter, stumble. And, that's really tough for them as a leader and shepherd in their church. Right. I get that. So if anyone tells you, no, you have to do it this way, and you say, but I'm just not there yet, that's okay. So if your pastor
but you need to be trying to get there.
Yes, if your pastor needs to go to the church and preach on a pulpit right now to get it done,
do that.
I'm okay with that.
Yes.
But you can continue while you're there. Say, hey, pastor, so here's the record button. Here's the autofocus camp button. Take the camera and the tripod. Here's the charger. Now see if you can do the same thing at home. Give it a couple practices. Record it, and then I'll leave the SD card out in your mailbox. I'll come by and pick it up with gloves on or something. Whatever you got to do, and then you can take it home and edit it, and you do a Facebook premiere. That's fine. Chris says they need to realize the times have changed for right now. Yes. They changed. They changed at 80 miles per hour. And we want people to put their blinker on and change lanes and signal that they're exiting the highway. Right now, you got that idiot in a car that's cutting 4 lanes without checking his blind spots, trying to exit. That's what this pandemic is doing to us. So as a start, it's okay, I think, if you need to go to your church. We're almost past that point where that's possible with shelter in place and all that stuff. But don't be concerned with people that are yelling at you, do it this way. Do it the way it needs to be done right now, with the goal of getting it to the point where pastor can stream it from his house, where the pastor can record it himself and then get you the recording so you can edit it and premiere it. Yep. Again, there's no right way to do it. There's only better ways, ways that get it done.
But let me
go ahead.
Let me dovetail onto that. What we're doing right now, what we have been doing up until this point in history, is the majority of churches that are live streaming have been live streaming their service. Okay? That is, and Justin, you and I talk about this all the time. When you step back and look at it from an objective technical standpoint, what is happening on Sunday morning is a live event that has a keynote speaker, has breakout sessions / workshops, that's Sunday school, and then maybe has a little mini concert at the beginning before the keynote speaker and a little micro concert at the end, and then a meet and greet. Okay, that's the thing that's happening on Sunday morning. When we're live streaming that, what we're doing is we are broadcasting that live event as it happens. Okay, that everybody in the world who has ever watched TV or watched someone speak on TV, watched a Billy Graham, what do you call it, big evangelism thing, watched the president, talk, anything like that, you are in your mind okay with being a fly on the wall, with being a person standing in the back of the room watching this thing happen. Okay, it's happening and you're observing it happen. Okay, we've now moved into a place where we're not live streaming our services. We are doing online church and we are doing virtual church. Okay, and that is different. That is a unique scenario. That is the event. Okay? It's not we're observing the event. It's the difference between going to a concert and watching the concert versus sitting in front of the lead guitarist and the singer and having them sing to you. Okay? That is what you're doing now, which means, if you'll notice, I'm not standing across the room. Justin is not standing across his room talking to these people in here in our room. I'm not talking to my Star Wars and Lego guys. He's not talking to his Iron Man stuff. Okay? We're looking at the camera and we're talking to you. We're making a connection with you. You see our eyes. You're watching us and our facial stuff, and we're doing everything to you. I'm using my hands and just more than I ever use it in any time when I'm communicating with people, because it's engaging and it's you and I talking. That is what we want you to get to, which means you should not, and I'm saying this, you should not have a camera at the back of the room, like on Sunday, zoomed up to the pulpit. Don't do that. Move it. Get it close. Get it in front of the pulpit. Get it up on the stage if you need to. Get it, halfway down. Get it in, get some boxes and stack them up, and then have it sitting on top. Have it closer so that, number one, it's easier for the pastor. Number two, the viewer is not seeing an empty room, because that's very off-putting. Who's this crazy guy talking to? Usually I see the back of heads, so I know he's talking to people. This guy's just blathering on in an empty room. Okay? That's a psychological thing that's happening. So you can help the viewer overcome that stuff by getting it closer, and the closer it is to the pastor, the easier it will be for him to focus on it, or if you're standing behind it, to focus on you and to talk to you, which eyeline-wise puts him looking at the camera. Okay? So keep that in mind. You're now engaging with people on the other side of a lens, not in that room. Same thing with your music. If you can adjust your music a little bit where, you've got a guitarist and a or a piano player and the worship pastor, and they sing 3 or 4 songs together, great. That's fantastic. They're looking at the camera, they're talking to the camera, they're singing to the camera. That way, they're singing to you. Because when you're in that audience observing this as it happens, you're sitting there, and if someone is doing special music, they're singing to you. If they're doing praise and worship, they're leading you in praise and worship, but you guys make eye contact because they look at you. Got to do that same thing with this. If you have a very liturgical type of a service, which you really need to be live streaming, you need to try to bring those liturgical stations to the people because they're not able to do it physically, then I encourage you to get the camera up on the stage, and if you need to, shoot at this altar here, shoot over here, have it right in front of where you're doing the Lord's Supper or communion, have it right in front of there so that the pastor is talking to the camera or to the person standing behind the camera. That's a big key. So that when the people are viewing this, they're up close and personal, because when it's time for communion, they actually go up and are standing in front of him. So try to recreate that as best you can to maintain normalcy for the viewer. We understand that it can be uncomfortable for you, the pastor, but life's not about you, the pastor, the preacher, the priest. Life's not about you. It's about the people that you are leading to the Lord. So try to serve them. And that is an absolute.
Yeah. A couple other things too. You don't have to, in fact, a lot of times the platform is not, the audience on the platform is not receptive to a 45-minute sermon.
Right.
So it's also a good idea to consider breaking it up. Mm-hmm. Okay. You can do your live stream for 40 minutes if you want. That's fine. You probably, according to the data, will probably have more success breaking it up into 3 10-minute videos throughout the week. Take your 40-minute sermon that has 4 points and just do 1 point a day. Instead of a sermon, you're going to have a week of lessons from the pastor. This will let you not only be receptive to feedback, but also, people can ask questions. You have a day to respond to them as you make your second point. So first point on Monday, I'm not going to pull any examples because I don't have any prepared, but you make your first point on Monday. People can comment and ask questions, and make sure that, you can say, I'm going to talk about that on Tuesday. Maybe you realize no one cares about your third point that you planned for Thursday. So you'd make a totally different third point, or you nix it. That is another option as well, so that you can, speak to the people they want to be spoken to. So that's another thing that you can consider doing, and it gives you an opportunity to refine your sermon, answer questions, and be more responsive to people asking. The important thing here too is, and I'm not going to try to not define. If I do say something that I believe, also believe in liberty. And so if you do church differently, I'm okay with that. Don't think I'm trying to pick a fight with you or preach my own views. I'm super Baptist in the way that, Southern Baptist denomination was actually founded on the fact that you can believe whatever you want. Right. There should be no state-sponsored or forcing of beliefs on other people. The Baptist forefathers died to say, you do you. And we'll do us. We'll tell you what we believe, and we believe that we should share the gospel. But if you refuse it, we're not going to force it down your throat.
Right.
Unfortunately, Baptists have kind of gone the opposite way in recent times. But church is all about the gathering, okay? Mm-hmm. And live streaming is a way that your church can gather virtually. Zoom is a way that your church and your Bible groups can gather virtually. And if you space out your videos, you're giving people a way to gather, but actually time displaced is another way to do it. So this is not something that, you just need to, we've only done it this one way and we're going to use technology to make it work. So we do it this one way. There are multiple ways to gather. So just keep that in mind, that is the ultimate thing we're trying to do here is you can gather virtually. So many businesses right now that have refused to do work from home or remote work are now discovering that A, they can, and B, the productivity has not gone down. In fact, some people, the productivity might go up because I'm working in a comfortable environment without Billy telling me about what happened on WWE Raw last night. I can actually get work done, and he's not sitting over, drinking his coffee, annoying me. So now I have to get up and take a break because he's annoying me. There might be different ways within your denomination that you have to do. People may have to do communion at home as a family, and you may realize that, hey, this is an okay substitute right now until we can come together. So just if you don't take anything out of this, if there's only one thing that you remember that we can leave you with, it's that we're going to come out of this. Mm-hmm. This is going to be over, okay, sometime. We don't know when, but it's going to be over. Another thing, I believe the news is trying to make it sound worse because that keeps you watching the news. Right. But we're going to come out of this, okay? The thing is, do you want to come out of this better? Right. Do you want to come out of it worse, or do you want to come out of it staying the same? If you do live streaming, if you do Zoom Bible study groups, if you do blogging, and you come out of it and you stop all that, things are the same, you're going to realize that people will just go right back to it, and your message will still only affect the 70 people sitting in the congregation, and they will only hear you on Sunday mornings, and they will only get the announcements. And what you can do is come out of it better. Mm-hmm. Coming out of it better would mean that you continue communicating to people throughout the week, because now you've set a precedence, you set a culture where they will expect to hear you on Facebook. Yep. They will expect to find you on YouTube. They will expect to have a drop-in. They will expect to have a phone call from the pastor. And if you keep that up, your message is no longer just reaching the 70 people in seats. Mm-hmm. It's reaching the 70 people in seats, the 120 people on email, the 400 people following you on Facebook, and the thousands of people that might be searching for what you just preached on YouTube. Yep. That is how you can come out of it better. And if you do nothing, if you just say, well, this is it, our church is not prepared and we can't do anything about it, I am not equipped to do anything about it, and I'm not even going to try, you will come out of it worse because now your congregation is connecting with another church. And maybe that's God's plan. I'm not one to say, but you will come out of this for the worse where you only have your hardcore followers. And now you've got to figure out what to do from here because other people are connected to other places and they might be missing out on what God has for them in your place. So as a leader, it is your responsibility to keep the communication up, to keep the teaching up, using the technology that we have. And I think what you'll see too in the business world is a lot more people are going to be working remote. It will be more acceptable. Hey, if your kid is sick, go ahead and work from home. You can take your meeting over Zoom or over Teams or whatever you're doing at work. I think we'll see some changes there, and those businesses will thrive. Whereas the other businesses, they're going to lose some employees because they're going to want to go to work to where they can work remotely or have better remote benefits as well. So a couple things I wanted to highlight here. Number one, Church Media Hacks has in fact, I'm looking through their Church Media Hacks group and there's so much going on. Facebook isn't even telling me everything that's happening. Right. Usually I get a notification whenever someone posts. There's posts on here I have not gotten notifications for. So me and Dave are going to be in the Church Media Hacks group. There are now 4,000 people in that group that can help you as well. So post your question, and we'll do our best to get in there. But also, CTA Insiders is our membership platform. We have a mastermind this Thursday night. We're going to open it for everyone, so you can come in here and ask your questions. Me and Dave will be on here. It's typically 2 hours. If we need to go late, we'll do as best as we can to go later than that. But we want to help you get through this. That is our number one thing. If you have questions, we want to know your specific church setup. We are not going to blast out and say, you have to buy this camera, you have to do this, you have to set it up this way, you have to wear these clothes, and you have to say this. Your church is unique, your culture is unique. We believe that. That's why I and my agency don't do templates or templated work. You have a unique church with a unique message and a unique leadership. We want to make sure that we're there for you so you can carry that out to the best of your ability and not use a cookie cutter solution. So absolutely take advantage of the Church Media Hacks group. Take advantage of the mastermind that we're opening to the public this Thursday night only. And when you do ask questions, provide as much information as you can, because oftentimes people will ask a question and our response is to ask another question because there's information missing. So provide your equipment, provide your budget, provide your leadership, provide why you're doing it. Some people say, oh, we have to stream on YouTube. And the next question is, why do you have to stream on YouTube? Who decided that? And you might be working with misinformation. So provide that information as much detail as you can. We can get you an answer as fast as we can and not play tag.
Everybody, real quick, if you are not connected with us through email, I want you to go to easylivestreaming.com. Go to easylivestreaming.com. We've got a free guide that you can download that gives you some tips and helps you kind of get a jump on doing your live streaming. More importantly, in this case, it's going to put you into our email contact system, and we will be sending out the link for our live group coaching on Thursday night. That is how you will be able to get into it, okay? So if you are in that email, then that is how we're going to be doing it. You will be getting an email from us that says, come join us right now for live group coaching. So do that. EasyLivestreaming.com. The link is right here in the chat. EasyLivestreaming.com. That is crucial. Now, there's a question that a couple of questions I wanted to answer real quick, if y'all don't mind. So Alex says that his pastor said that some people have been seeing a lot of shadows and stuff behind him when they were shooting that while they're doing the live stream and the recordings, and he wants to know how to get rid of the shadowing. The best way to get rid of the shadowing that you're seeing like behind you, the harsh shadows and things like that, is add more light and soften that light. That's the way to do it. If you've got if you've got just a light shining and it doesn't have anything that's taking that light and diffusing it, then it's going to be a hard light and it's going to have hard shadows and it's going to cast hard shadows. If it's a softer light, that light is going to be wrapping around the thing that you're doing and then falling off really nicely. In fact, I can show you. We're gonna go rogue here. Check this out. I have a light right here that has diffusion. It's got some plastic over it, like a shower cap. Think something like that, a shower curtain, that kind of material that can help soften that light and give you more even. You'll notice that there's not like a bunch of harsh light on my face here. It's all kind of falling off nicely. So that's one thing to do. So for the subject, and then some more light behind them, maybe some light that's in the back shining on their shoulders, on the back of them, to help them separate from the background as well. Those kind of things will help. Also, when we were talking about talking to the camera and stuff, there was a question.
But before you move
Joe.
on, though, one more thing too with the shadows.
Yes.
You can just step forward from the wall, right? Like if you just cannot get any different lighting, just step forward. Don't be so close to the wall.
Yes, get away from the wall.
That's what we do with green screens. You don't stand right in front of a green screen. You just step forward.
Yeah, physical separation from the things behind you. That's a big thing right there.
Yeah.
And Joey says, "Hi guys, do you have something for a pastor to read or learn how to the do's and don'ts?" To be able to lead in a live stream, to be on camera and things like that. Joey, that's actually something that I've been taking notes and putting together. Justin and I both have been addressing the camera for a long time, so there's things that we've learned over the years. We are putting that stuff together for you guys, and we'll be sending that out within the next week or so.
Dave's gonna do a video. I'll do a written PDF.
Yep.
And that PDF will go to our email list. So
yes,
make sure
absolutely.
you get on the email list. I know a lot of pastors would rather have something written. Some are visual, so we'll also provide. Dave will provide that video.
We're going to show you examples.
So you'll have a couple different ways to get that to your pastor.
Yeah, absolutely. So everybody, like I said, go to easylivestreaming.com. These are things you need to do right now. It's crucial that you stay in contact with us and that you're able to get the stuff. Notice, we're trying to give you guys as much content and information as we can. We're not even like telling everybody just go sign up for Church Training Academy and stuff. We could be doing that. We're not doing that. If you want to join, fantastic. We're not pushing it right now. We just want to get you guys as much info and usable action items and things like that you can take action on and move forward with. So easylivestreaming.com. Be sure you are also subscribed to this YouTube channel, and be sure that you ring the bell for the notifications so that you will get notifications when we post things in the community tab, when we post new videos, when we go live. If we just spontaneously go live like I did a couple of weeks ago on a Saturday morning, I was like, okay, I got to talk to y'all. If you are subscribed and getting notified, then you joined me for that. So anyway, be sure that you do that as well, and we'll also see you in the Church Media Hacks group. So 3 things: churchmediahacks.com, easylivestreaming.com, and this YouTube channel. Anything else, Justin, before we go? I got to get to a TV station.
Yeah, that's fine. I got to get to a lunch. Nope, just keep asking questions. There's no dumb questions. We're all trying to get better here. A lot of people are navigating new waters. That's what we're here for. And make sure when you do ask a question, provide as much information as possible so we can get you the best answer as possible.
Absolutely. All right, guys, we will see y'all in the group. Have a good one. Oh, and take everything that you've learned and use it to go change lives.